But your great life. Your great life.
Today we're here to discuss 1 versus 1.
1 versus 1 rugby, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Combat Rugby podcast. I'm your host, Freddy Ngoza, and today I'm talking with Lario, Spence.
Away.
Welcome. You've been here with us from the start when this was just still a brainchild.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy to see what it's become, honestly.
It's been a long ass day.
Yeah.
The most important thing right now is for us to just create these podcasts to speak to the people and share more information about what we are trying to do with 1 versus 1 and also the different perspectives and different stakeholders in the product. So yeah, Laris, 1 versus 1, what's your first thoughts about it?
Honestly, I think it's gonna revolutionize sport in a way. Especially in South Africa.
Yes.
Because I'm just gonna say it, I feel like there's a lot of corruption in South Africa in general.
Yes.
But in the sporting world as well. It's a lot of who you know, who your dad sponsored, what you got. I'm not saying everyone's like that. I'm not saying we don't have talent. Obviously we have talent.
We have plenty of talent.
Too much talent, actually.
Yes.
And 1v1's going to be a way of distributing talent and money equally.
Our plan for this year is quite interesting. So it basically goes into 3 phases, like I explained to you. So the first part of the project will be the series, where we do the 4 events in our different locations. And then after that, I want to go into the contender series. I want us to do some analysis on it and just discuss and also give some pointers.
So what exactly, because you said contender, what do you mean by contenders?
Okay, I think we should start with the whole...
How are you going to identify contenders?
Yes. So let's start with the 1 versus 1 rugby series. So the rugby series are the 4 events that we're going to be hosting.
Okay.
It's going to be starting in Gqeberha, PE, the 1st of July. After that we will go to Johannesburg, where we will partnering with the 10th series. We go to East London, and we also have the Cape Town one that we're going to be hosting at Greenpoint. So the objective of these events is to create a structure where we will have a data collection point, basically, where anyone who wants to be part of the process gets to register and you get to participate in 1 versus 1. This is the 1 versus 1 rugby series. The 5 weight classes are obviously our lightweights. We have the welterweights, 90 kilograms. We have the middleweights, which is less than 100 kilograms. Light heavyweights are less than 110 kilograms, and then we have our heavyweights that are more than 110 kilograms. So you have the chance to register and come participate in our challenge, with the benefit of being then able to become a contender that will play in the finals for the championship of the first series. Who is the best in each weight category? That is the ultimate thing about 1 versus 1 finals.
Yeah.
So we're building a registration platform. That registration platform will give guys opportunities, and we will analyze and identify who we think is the first choice, and then obviously we have our followers to vote on who they think should be the number 2 contender, like who plays against the number 1. A poll. Because like you say, we want to take the objective opinion out of it. And if I identify the number one contender, that is my opinion. And I still feel like it should be the opinion
Everyone's
of
opinion.
everyone, you
Yeah.
understand?
Season.
I think we will probably look at creating like a wildcard system.
Okay.
So obviously if we now have guys that we have, that's why I'm saying the 1v1 registration is a database where I will know exactly what the positions the guys play. I have direct
weight
contact to
class.
these guys, and so if I feel like there was a 20-year contender who didn't make it all the way, he's 20 years old.
Yeah.
With some coaching, with some development opportunities, he might come back next year and win the series. You understand? So there will still be a way where I will go back to the database that I've created and say, okay, I think this guy had something. Because every event I'm going to identify the best forward, I'm going to identify the best back.
Okay.
You understand? I'm going to identify who I think was the best wild card in each. And then you still have the 5 winners who identify themselves by winning, you know? So that is the idea with the whole thing.
Okay. So I identify as a winner as well.
Yes.
So let's say in the, I'm not sure, welterweight, I would
Welterweight
say,
class. So
for the backline players.
yes.
But let's say there's a flank in there.
Yes.
That's a forward.
Yes.
Are they still going to compete against each other?
No.
So,
He's competing in his weight class.
but that's what I'm saying. Is let's say a forward and a back is in the
Yes.
welterweight class.
Yes.
How are you going to identify a forward and a back from the welterweight class? If they
I'm not going to identify. I'm going to identify one forward and one back in each challenge.
like
From
overall.
all the weight classes.
Okay.
You understand?
That makes
Because the
sense.
weight classes are basically broken into positionals. Remember, it was positionals in the beginning.
Yeah, I remember.
But then, just to organize it and make it fair, it makes sense to play in your weight classes. You know, so if you are a forward and you win the welterweight class, kudos to you. It's not necessarily going to be to say I'm going to identify you as the best forward.
Okay. That
Because
makes
in
sense.
retrospect, if for a forward you're still actually small in 15 man.
Okay. So this contender series is starting through all the series, right?
The contender series is aimed to start probably Jan of 24.
So it's a separate thing.
It's a separate thing. We need to go through the 1v1 rugby series first, and then after we have our
Finals
winners.
in Cape Town.
And then we identify, okay, out of these 4 guys that have won the lightweight classes in the 4 events we've held, who is number 1 according to the footage that we have?
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
Then I say, okay, I think he's number 1, he's number 2 according to my opinion, and Pete is number 3 according to my opinion. So,
Shut up, Beat.
shout out to Pete. So the number 2 and number 3 seat will be voted on our social media. So we create a reel for them with all their action,
Okay.
and our followers will decide, okay, we like this one's content more than we like this one. So
With
you
the
vote
basic
for
poll.
it. Yes. Basic poll, the winner of the poll will then be part of the top 10. So it's essentially top 10. It's going to be a number 1 seat, 5 positions, and our number 2 seats.
The wild cards.
The wild cards. So
The guys the people want to see play.
yes, you understand.
That's
so
cool.
that's the whole interest of the contender series. We're gonna be able to give you the whole background story of each of these guys. The 10 guys, the wild cards versus the number
Like the
1
UFC.
seeds. Yes. And they will eventually at the Cape Town 10s they will play 1 versus 1 against each other.
Okay, so let's say I'm like, because I'm 21 years old now.
Yes.
Obviously, by the time I'm 25, 26,
Yes.
I'm not going to look the same that I look now.
Yes.
I'll probably be a little bit bigger, way more.
Yes.
So will it be possible for me, like in the UFC, to
yeah.
play in multiple divisions? Or do you need to write in one division and stay throughout the season in that one division?
It will be up to you. Like for me, I would like to create a database of where we eventually have like guys that are contracted under to play 1 versus 1. Out of that database, you can play wherever you want. If you feel like Alex Pereira and them do now, If you want to go up to the next weight class, why not? Let's see if you can mix there. Because it's going to be, let's say you're a center and you have won your welterweight or your middleweight class, and you decide, hey, I want to go to the next challenge. You bulk up. Why wouldn't I want to put you in that challenge? You know.
Okay.
It produces
Especially
the
then
next.
you play against
Because now
stronger
you
people.
can. Now I would be able to put you against. I don't put you against in a challenge. I will. If you're a winner and you want to take on the next, I'll put you against the champion of the next weight class.
Okay.
And we see how far you fade. Now you're not necessarily going to be going against the general middleweight or light heavyweights. You're going to go against the champion of the light heavyweights.
Okay.
I think like that also we will be able to create a good competition between the guys.
Because I would also like to see like, I think it would be interesting watching maybe like a light lock
Yes.
play against a heavy center.
Yes.
Because obviously the lock's going to be power.
Exactly.
Bounce you,
Yes.
just run over you, and the center's
It's
going
going to have a bit of more
avoid
agility.
you, something like
bit
that
faster.
could be really interesting to watch.
So it will be interesting to put it together like that.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, once we get to places where we have champions, I think it shouldn't be out of the question to have my champions challenging each other, you know. Because going to the community and identifying talent, I have more quality that will rise to the top by hosting more challenges.
Yeah.
So if I can, for now, I'm focusing on 4 locations in South
Because
Africa.
it's the main location.
Because it's the main locations. But in those locations, in the future, I would like to host 2 in each location. Then I'm looking at 8 events. But those 8 events mean that my quality is wider. My reach into the rugby market is wider.
Yeah.
And that's where we essentially want to be to get to, because only when we are deep into the community will we be able to draw the best talent out of the community. Last year when I got the opportunity, and I didn't even have the players yet, but we got the opportunity to set up the sevens team, and it's justifiable because I want to see if the approach, the philosophy of 1 versus 1 coaching, highlighting the individual within a rugby system, is it then transferable from 1 versus 1 rugby pitch to 7s, to 10s, to 15s, you know? And so that's why the collaboration with the 10s makes a whole lot of sense for me. Because it's going to be me moving our product to the next phase, seeing if we can use this approach for 10s. And the next step is obviously 15.
So you would want to take all the winners from 10s and create a 7 series team.
Essentially,
And the
at the
10s
end.
team and the 15s.
Yes.
Okay. Would that also be applicable to the community? So
Yes.
a Benoni 10s, 7s, 15 team out of the 1v1s?
Not necessarily, because now it becomes vague. So for me, I'm looking at the winners that will go from Benoni, one Ekurhuleni, one Gauteng,
Oh, and then Gauteng
make
team.
it to the contender series, make it into the top 10.
Okay.
Understand? Or make it to the top 20 that I identify. Those are the guys that I'm looking at.
Okay.
To then say, okay, cool. So you're in my top 10 or top 20 for 1 versus 1. How would your skill of 1 versus 1 transfer if I put you in the 7s team and now you have to play 7s?
Okay.
Now I get to do a rating on you playing 7s. And then I take you, okay, cool, your skill was transferred to 7s successfully. How do you fit in 10s?
Because obviously
Do
with
we still
7s
get-
it's a
get
different
the
game.
same? It's a different game, but I'm looking at performance quality. Is the individual performance quality still the same? Because I'm saying you are good in 1 versus 1 combat. Do you then have the set piece skill to add on to that? Do you have the
But that can be coached in.
It's coached.
Yeah.
It's coached, but there are things that you cannot coach. And I think that's what 1 versus 1 fills.
Oh, okay.
But not everyone also that is 1v1 is going to transfer to be everything
Sevens, yeah, or
in 7s or everything in.
Because obviously
in
it's a lot
15s.
of, there's a lot more sensory information to
Yes.
take in while playing 15.
decision making.
Yeah. Passing, do I pass, do I not?
Do I know how to pass
Yeah.
left? Can I pass right?
Both ways.
Yeah, and if I'm a hooker, can I throw into a lineup? I cannot answer those things with 1v1.
Yeah.
That's why I need to say, okay, this guy is a
But can't
hooker.
you test it beforehand?
It's too much admin, dude. If I'm gonna test 200 guys, it's not sustainable for
so you
me
want to
as a
test
starter.
the top guys?
I want to test the top guys because it's a sustainable way for me to go about it. If you are good enough in your 1v1 is the filter. I don't need to filter you guys. I want to test the top. You know?
Yeah.
I don't need to filter you. I just put you in 1v1, you filter yourself. And I get to the top and like, okay, you are good. You're a good hooker, but you need to work on your line-out throws. You need to work on your scrumming technique for you to be able to move over and be a successful professional rugby player.
So that's
in
the
your
ultimate
position.
goal, is to get players from you to play for the Blue Bulls or
Of course.
clubs overseas or...
I want them to play professional. The guys that my top 10 are guys that I'm going to make a conscious effort to get to professional.
Okay.
That's why it's
That's
a
why you want to be a
2-year
contender.
It's a 2-year development agreement if you sign the deal with me. That I look at your sponsorships, I look at your contracting, I look at your coaching program, I look at your holistic development.
Okay.
But I can't do this for everyone. That's why you have to
take
top
the top.
5, you understand? And that will have interviews, psychological assessments from sports psychologists that I want to collaborate with. Where I have Lario not only as Lario the player, it will have a certain
Lario
way
the
to
brand.
it, yes. But I want to know you as a person, your conscious thinking, your family background. I need to know that to know how to best develop you.
Oh, so it's about developing the person
Yes.
through rugby.
That's why I want to
It's
go
not-
to the community, Lario. It's guys that are out of the system right now.
Yeah.
Ayabonga and Yakana I interviewed. We're also gonna put in on one of the episodes. Is a guy from the Eastern Cape who hasn't played high performance rugby because of his background. You know, but this is the guy I want because I saw the fire he has and the
But 1v1.
personality he has in 1v1. So now I want to be in a place, he's going to come with us to the 7s, where I will say, okay, I want to see you how you play 7s, your decision making, your endurance, your fitness, your grit, your physicality in continuous rugby. So that's the difference between 1v1 and the other formats of rugby. 1v1 is start-stop. The other formats of rugby are continuous rugby. You understand? So now I want to take my guys from start-stop and see how you do in continuous rugby and coach you how to be better in continuous rugby. Then I give you the next shot, the 10s. Are you getting better? And after 2 years, if I don't believe that you're gonna be moving over to the next level, which is high performance rugby, I should at least have an idea of how to channel you from there. Is it education? Is it coaching? Is it community service? Whatever is set for you. You know,
like best for you.
Yes.
Because what I also think could be a cool thing is if you can make a community youth development thing basically, and you take the base 15 out of all the communities that you're developing,
Yes.
and you put them into like Craven Week.
But your great life.
Here we go. Here we go. Oh yeah, he's been up. All right, here we go, guys. Round 2. Oh yeah! Round 3. This is the final in the welterweight division. Here we go. Oh yes! What a tackle! Wow! Things are heating up here. It's 2 points as we approach round 4. 2 points, Jason Van Wyk. 1 point, Matthew Carlson. It's a matchup. Here we go. It's a step. Oh, it is out. It's on the outside. That's 2 points apiece. Round 5. It's getting hot, guys. All right, here we go. Here we go. Oh, that's a tackle. That is 3 points, Jesuit Van Wyk. 2 points, Matthew. I'm getting heated. Right. Here we go. Hey! Round 7.
Bye.